effort never dies. You get the word no, somebody's telling you no, not this, then you use it as next opportunity. So if they told you no, the next one might be a yes. Change your mindset and it will change the direction in which you go.
Without Fear of Her Future podcast is for women who are passionately pursuing financial freedom using multiple streams of income and real estate to accomplish their goals. We are here to empower you to be brave, dream big, and design a life that you love that inspires others to do the same. I'm your co-host, Andrea Engstrom, a real estate investor and business coach and co-founder of the Partnership for Realtors. And I'm here with my co-host, Tresa Todd, founder of the Women's Real Estate Investors Network and author of the best-selling book, Without Fear of Her Future. Over the past 2 years, Tresa has had nearly 200,000 join her masterclass, where she teaches women how to become successful real estate investors. Hey, Tresa.
Hey, Andrea. I'm super excited about today. We have another amazing guest that our listeners are going to love hearing from.
Yes.
So Natalie is a homeschool mother of 8.
Woo!
My goodness. She is not afraid of a challenge, obviously. In 2021, she created 4 rental properties, doing most of the renovations herself. Teaching her kids about pursuing their dreams and investing in real estate is a lesson she hopes will stick with them for life. Today, we're going to talk about how she put away excuses and got busy creating her family legacy.
Natalie, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, Natalie, I'm so excited that you are here. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Well, let's just jump in. Tell us where you live and where are you primarily doing your investing?
So I currently live in Pennsylvania, and we have 3 of our properties here in PA, and we do have 1 in Tennessee. So we're expanding. We're looking to go a little further out through the United States.
Wow. Okay, so you are homeschooling 8 kids. That is absolutely incredible. Tell us about your family. How old are your kids?
Okay, yeah. So I've been homeschooling for now on and off for 20 years. And we've done traditional homeschooling, virtual homeschooling. I've had kids in they're dual enrolled for college. I've had them in trade schools. We've pretty much done it all. My age brackets are from 25 down to 4. So my oldest, William, is 25. He's married to Bethany, and Julie, who's 22. She's married to Joe. Michael is 19. Haley is 17. Daniel is 12. Carrie is 10. Katie is 8. And Kelly is my youngest. She's 4.
Wow, that is incredible. Incredible. I homeschooled my kids for 3 short years. So nothing compared to that, but it was absolutely an amazing experience. Loved it.
Yeah. It's got its challenges. It definitely does.
Yes.
Not always fun.
Well, I'm one of 4 kids, and my mom homeschooled us from 3rd grade clear through high school. So I totally get the life, but I don't know that I could do what you're doing. So
I did not know that, Andrea. I love it.
Yes.
Well, my husband was military, so the only thing back then which would have been consistent in my son's life was schooling. Because we were constantly bouncing around, we left the country and stuff, and we were like, it's not going to be good for him emotionally to be going from school to school to school. So we started it there. But yeah, we've tried it all in that sense.
Well, tell us more about what was happening in your life when you decided to do real estate investing and to build up those rental properties.
Well, so a little bit of background on me is I grew up in New York City, so it was typical to have a 2-family house. So I kind of seen firsthand that having rental come in was helpful for paying down a house or for cash flow. But my mom still worked 3 jobs. So for me, I kind of looked at it like, that's not really where I want to go financially, because I was like, I don't want to work 3 jobs. So I focused more in on education and got my degrees done. But then in 2013, I had my 7th child, and we were living in a 4-bedroom house. And so we really needed to expand a house. So we had one built, and we started renting out our first home. And I had to learn quickly how to do contracts, how to work with tenants, how to find the right tenants, to learn about background checks and credit checks and all that stuff. And so I learned quickly and made sure I did not use some of the tactics my mom used. Kind of did a little more research. But about a year and a half ago, I went to my husband, and I like to give tangible things to my family and friends and things like that. I have a very big servant's heart. So I went to him about a year and a half ago, and I was like, when we go home, I really want to leave something behind other than cash, because I feel like with money, people go through it really quickly and they don't even know what they spent it on, and it's just gone. But if we left a house to each of our children, they will always know, Mom gave me this. She picked this one out special for me for whatever reason. So that was the goal. And so in 2020, we saw the Grant house, and it was a complete distressed home. And at first when I walked in, I told my husband, like, no way, I'm not fixing this house. There's no way. He's like, you can do it. You fix all the other houses. And I was like, no. But he really was like, oh, we need this one, because it was under market value. It was off the MLS because I didn't have specialized knowledge back then. Otherwise, I probably got a better deal. So I went ahead and I said, fine, I'll do it. And I took on the challenge. So we closed that house in 2020 in December, started reno in January. And then in January, we found another house, and then we were like, oh, this one's really good. And it's basically like a lipstick reno. So I closed on that one in February, and took me about 10 days to flip that house.
Wow.
And then the neighbor next door, because I'm social and I always like to get to know people in the neighborhood and stuff, he came over to me, and I didn't realize he didn't own the house, but he was renting it. So he comes over and he's like, yeah, my landlord's thinking of selling. And, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to move out of here. And like, after I was done talking to him, I called my husband, like, we need to buy this house, because it literally is attached. So it's like a twin home. So I'm like, Will, we got it. And he's like, we just bought 2 houses. Like, why are we buying another one? I'm like, no, this would be good. So we got that one off market, and we got it for a really good deal. And because there was tenants already in there and I knew them and they were good people, I was like, all right, I'm keeping them. I'm just going to increase the rent a little bit and start fresh. So then we closed in there in April. So May, my son had gone down to Tennessee. And so I started going to Tennessee, and we found another house, and I was like, we can get this one. And my husband was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is going to be great. So we got the 4th house. And so he was just like, okay, we need to put a cap on this, because we just bought 4 houses in the last 6 months. So we've put a little pause on it, and we've been doing a lot of renovations in a lot of the properties. But yeah, it's been kind of that exciting. So now I'm down to where it's like, I only need 4 more houses, and I made my goal of the kids.
That's right.
But since joining WREIN, I'm like, I can bring this up a little bit. Like, let's move the next one up to 10 and maybe 15. Start really expanding. So yeah, we're excited.
Awesome. And what made you decide? Because a lot of people in 2020 and 2021 were saying, we're not buying real estate now. We have no idea what the world's going to look like. But that was when you really moved forward, in a powerful way. So what made you decide that now was the right time to get started? Honestly,
it was like the interest rates were really low. We were finding all these really great deals, because everybody was selling their houses at at least the ones I was finding, they're all like really discounted prices and stuff. And I was just like, man, they're just giving this away. Like, who would not want to pick this up? Now, I mean, there's sweat equity in these homes. It wasn't like I was buying, already ready turnkey houses, but it was perfect timing for us, because it was like we had the capital at the time, we had the resources, and I just, like I said, God laid it on me that I need to do this for my kids. And when I put my mind to something and I'm going to do it, I just start doing it, and I go for it. My husband wants to reel me in sometimes, but I do it.
Yeah. So tell us, what was your greatest challenge as you were getting started? Because taking on 4 properties in 6 months that needed renovations, that's a pretty big challenge. But yeah. Tell us about what were the challenges that you had to overcome.
Well, some of the challenges were, number one was obviously financial. It was like, okay, where are we pulling this money from? So, we did have to like borrow from 401ks. We, went ahead and took some stocks, different things, different ways of just pulling out money so we can get these houses underway. But then we also had to reno them. So it was like then pulling up more capital. So it was more about financial. Then it was time, because I had to balance this in between homeschooling the kids, running the house, and running the other properties I already had. So it was like, okay, let's figure it out. And, I have to time box everything. I have to make sure I have a really tight schedule. My kids are used to it. I've had a tight schedule since they're all born. So it's just like, oh, mom's throwing in another, juggling act. And it's like, yep, we can squeeze in another one. We could do it. So, and I also drag my kids in on it sometimes. It's like, hey, I have older boys that you're in their 20s. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to help me demo. So you're going to, knock this out in a weekend for me. We're going to have it cleared out. And then I'm going to go in and start doing what I got to do. So yeah, it's teamwork. But it was definitely time and money that was the challenge at the time.
Man, I agree. When you make up your mind to do something, you do it. I want to know when you joined the Women's Real Estate Investors Network.
Oh my gosh. That was actually like a God's answer, because I went ahead and was going through a season where I was going to look to go get a second master's and go back into doing marriage counseling. And I was sitting there and had been praying to God. I'm like, what do you want me to do? And here I am. I'm juggling all these things with the house and stuff like this. So I never click on those ads on Facebook, like ever. Okay. And I'm sitting there one night and it's late. I'm a night owl. I'll stay up, sometimes 1 a.m. And I go and I see your ad pop up, and I turn over to my husband, and he's a pumpkin. He was already like going to sleep. And I'm like, you think this is real? Like, you think this is like legit? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, you can just look it up. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to look it up. So I looked you up, and I was like, she really is a real person. Okay. Like maybe this is something good. So I was like, what's the worst that it could hurt me? I lose $17. I'm like, I lose $17 easily going to Rita's with my kids. So I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I prayed about it, and I went to God, and I was like, is this what you want me to do? Like, do you really want me to take, forget going to, back to school, but you want me to move more into real estate? And he just laid on my heart, go for it, go do it. And when I joined, it was the last week of February, which is the week I started demoing. So I actually had to make sure I was done at the end of the day from demoing to jump on the call. So we were demoing our kitchen. We've been working on that. And I was like, this is awesome. Learning that material, just opened my eyes to different strategies that I had not thought about. And I went back to my husband. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. And then he's just like, again, I know what I'm doing. So he was like, okay, what are we doing? And I was like, there's all these strategies. We can be getting houses instead of waiting 10 years and doing it with your bonuses or different ways of saving up money. I'm like, we might be able to get our 10 houses in 2 years. And he was
Absolutely.
like, are you serious? And I was like, yes. So yeah, I joined the end of February. So that last week of February, beginning of March. And then I joined WREIN in March. And then I went to live. And then I joined Circle.
Wow. So, wow. Because now you can buy those houses without using your money and pulling money from 401k. I know it. I love it. But I love that you were doing it without all the specialized knowledge and killing it. So I can only imagine what you are going to accomplish now.
I'm excited too. I'm just sitting here. I'm getting everything set up and working on everything. So yeah, this summer has not been let's lay back and relax. It's been no, let's hit the ground running. The kids don't have school. I've got some free time. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So Natalie, you bought 4 rental properties before you went through a whole training program. What will you do differently moving forward? How will it change your strategy as you're continuing in real estate investing?
To me, now that I know about the BRRRR strategy, I can actually use the properties I already have, pull out that equity and start buying some more houses. So I'm excited about that. But at the same time, my husband got really excited about me wholesaling. So I'm going to venture. I told him, I was like, I will attempt 3 and I will go through, because I'm the kind of person, I like teaching people things. So I have to at least do it before I could teach it to somebody. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go. That's my goal. So I've been focusing in right now on trying to do some wholesaling.
Awesome.
Love it.
Awesome. So tell me, you mentioned that your kids and your interactions with them, what do they really think about you doing real estate?
Well, my kids are amazing. They are so supportive, and they're so used to me doing so many different things. Cause by trade, I'm a professional organizer. So I help people with their lives and do those kinds of things anyway. So they look at it like, well, now you're organizing your own life. You're doing it for yourself. You know, you're getting your own stuff together. So they're all excited. I mean, my one son, he's already a carpenter and in the trade of contracting. So he's 19. So he's looking at getting his first property within this next year. So he already wants to start on it. And William, he's got his own business. So he's like, I'm going to be buying a house in every state because he wants to be able to travel too. So he's already got on it. My other son wants to be a designer. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to be totally helping you. My daughter, who's in law school, is like, I can do the contracts for you, make sure everything's on the legal end.
Wow.
And then my other daughter, she's like, well, I'm going to go to medical school. So I was like, all right, good. So when Michael gets hurt from like building houses, you can fix him. So everybody's got a part in some way or another. We're all going to build this team together. And I can just see probably within the next 10 years or so, they're going to have their own business together and they're just going to build an empire. So I'm just excited about that.
I love it.
I love it. So what I hear you saying is that all of us who are like, oh, I need help in my business, we just need to have like 8 kids and then it'll just work itself out. Like
Yes.
It could, or you can have 8 kids and like lose your hair. I don't think God did not create everybody to have 8 kids. For me, I didn't even plan on 8 kids. It was like 2 kids. I had a boy and a girl. I was good. I was done. And then it was like cooking the frog. I slowly just had another kid kind of come in and another one come in. And it's like after 4, you're at the point where you're like, what's one more? Like, really, what is it going to change if I throw one more in there?
I love it. I love it. And I do find that homeschooling parents typically raise kids that are more entrepreneurial because you already think outside of the box. If you're homeschooling, you're not in the box. I just do everything traditionally.
Exactly.
And I mean, with all that your kids have had the opportunity to watch you accomplish and do in life, I mean, oh my gosh, you cannot learn that in school.
Oh,
So
no.
that is
honestly,
absolutely
I
incredible.
have them start doing dual enrollment when they're 16 because honestly, I'm like sitting here going, you might as well get your head start because there's nothing that the school's really going to teach you. So wherever you want to go, just focus in. And they know, and I've always encouraged them, like whatever you set your mind to, I will help you get there. And if I don't know how to get there, I will figure it out and I'll help you get there. So it's, they've always known that. They've looked at me my whole life. And Mother's Day, they came back and they had a little skit they had made and a video they made. And each and every one of them in their own individual like presentation came out. And the first thing out of their mouth was, Mom's hardworking. Like that was their first note of who I am. So I've done my best to instill in them to be hard workers and stay focused. And that's been a challenge at times, but they're doing it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So a lot of people might have used some of your responsibilities and like everything going on in your life as an excuse to not get started and may even have a belief that this is not their season to get into real estate. So what advice would you give them?
Well, with the life that I've created between the military life, homeschooling, 8 kids, owning my own businesses, education, there's never a right time. You have to just go out and do it and make it your time. And for me, I've always had the mindset where it's not a want to, it's a have to. So I may start off with the I want to do this, and then I flip it to I have to do this. And then in the end, it's like, look what I get to do. Because it's all about the mindset of where I want to go. So I look at where I'm at right now and where do I want to be in a year? And then I have to make that roadmap to go, okay, well, how do I get there? And some of the analogies I've used with my clients is, okay, so if you were going to go cross country and you were going to go to California, would you not use a roadmap? Or would you just jump in the car and just be like, hey, I'm just going to figure it out and wing it and see if I ever make it to California? And, 9 out of times they'll say, no, I'm going to have a map and I'm going to plan out where I stop for gas or where I'm going to go for lunch or whatever. And it's like, it's the same thing with whatever goal you have in life. Look at what your end result is, work backwards, and figure out how you want to get there. Mm-hmm. So it's all about the mindset for me.
Yes.
Yes. So Natalie, you've done some awesome things. What are you most excited about working on next? What are your goals for the future?
Oh my goodness. I have so many running through my head. I'm excited about having though, where we're going to get to the 10 houses so my husband can retire out of his day job. And then I want to have the short-term rentals as well as the long-term rentals. and then just get to travel and enjoy life with my kids, because, we are here for just a moment in time. And, I don't know when God's going to call me home. And so I want each precious moment that we can have as a learning experience, but then just an enjoyable memory that they can hold on to for the rest of their lives and pass on to their kids. So I'm excited. There's a lot to happen in the next few months or year.
You are a powerhouse. You are such an inspiration.
Thank you.
So glad. I know that our listeners are loving this.
Well, Natalie, we like to ask our guests for 3 takeaways. So what 3 things would you advise an investor or entrepreneur who is looking to be brave and grow, or is perhaps feeling stuck where they are?
Well, number 1, I have to say, you have to give it the glory to God. You have to put God first, because without him, you're not going to be able to accomplish anything. That's how I feel. I have to put him first to get to anywhere I want to go. Secondly, being brave and being able to accomplish something has such a feeling at the end of that accomplishment that there's not a correct word to even put in it. At least I know for me, when I get to accomplish something, it's moving and it's powerful. And so I equate that with, because God's given me the wisdom, he's allowed me to do this. Being brave is hard, but it's powerful. You got to go through it. And then lastly, I have a quote, and I can't remember who's the person who wrote it in the first place, but they get the credit for whoever, if they ever hear this, they get the credit. But like the word fail, is first attempt in learning, and that's something that people have to think about. Like when they go, oh, I failed at this. No. You attempted to do it.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, this is the end. I can't do this. It's like, no, effort never dies. You just have to like put that in your mindset. And then you get the word no, if somebody's telling you no, not this, then you use it as next opportunity. So if they told you no, the next one might be a yes.
Yeah.
So really it comes down to your mindset. Change your mindset and it will change the direction in which you go.
Woo! Good stuff.
I love it. Well, Natalie, we appreciate you so much. Thanks for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I love that you have so many things going on in your life, and you don't let that stop you from moving forward and setting big goals. And it seems like you never stop. Like there's always.
I don't like being bored.
Yeah. So we're so excited to see what's next from you. Thanks so much for being here.
Yes.
Yes. Well, on behalf of Tresa Todd and the Women's Real Estate Investors Network, I'm Andrea Engstrom, encouraging you to be brave and dream big.